So it's okay. So guys, as we're going through this, listen, you are going to be learning a lot from Travis about Tribevest. It is a absolutely game changing platform. And I tell you that I don't say that lightly. It really is game changing. So if questions pop up, feel free to jump off mute or type it in the chat box if you're not in a position to jump off mute. So we can get your question answered immediately while it's relevant. And I will definitely be asking questions throughout. Travis and I have talked in depth about Tribevest and the services that they do over there, but I still feel like every time we talk, I learn something new and exciting. And I really think it's going to totally change the landscape of investing. So let me tell you a little bit about Travis before I hand the baton over to him. He is the founder and CEO of Tribevest, which is a platform that makes it easy and safe to invest as a group and do deals together in as little as 48 hours. He started his career with Morgan Stanley, but realized the most direct path to wealth and financial freedom wasn't through Wall Street or as an individual. The path is as a group, as a tribe. Travis is obsessed with building a platform that standardizes, streamlines, and ultimately de-risks group investing. He won't stop until every single deal on and off the internet is an opportunity for a multiplayer experience. I love that. He is building Tribevest so you don't have to go at it alone. All right, mic drop. I'm going to let you take it, Travis. That is awesome.
Thank you, Rachel. So glad to be here. Just had, the best time meeting with you a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago. I guess it wasn't that long. But just awesome synergies, and love the community that you're building. Our missions are aligned. We're out there enabling, empowering people to take control of their future, unlock a future. And a great way to do that is by gaining financial freedom through investing in private assets, real estate syndication. So anyway, we had a lot of synergies and had a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be here, having a chance to introduce you to and your community to Tribevest. Let me go ahead and kick this off. As Rachel mentioned, can you get which screen are you seeing here? Let me see. All right, let's come over here.
That's perfect. I was seeing your PowerPoint.
All right. Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Was it? So are you? What are you seeing right this moment?
I'm seeing your files.
All right. It was in the right place.
Now it's back. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Perfect.
All right. Very good. So again, I'm Travis Smith, founder and CEO of Tribevest. A little bit of my professional background is I was, I graduated in finance from The Ohio State University, was recruited and trained by Morgan Stanley in New York City. And I was really in that business, financial advising to help others build wealth. Realized that wasn't the best place to do it. Often say I was saved by software, and eventually ended up working for a fintech company called Highland Software, where I was employee number 36. Stayed in the fintech enterprise software space throughout my career, and eventually, and just before starting Tribevest, was with a multi-billion-dollar fintech called Jack Henry and Associates. Big presence down there in Dallas, Rachel, and Allen area. And 3,000 small and medium-sized banks run on their software. So you can start to see how, when it came time to building out the collaborative and banking infrastructure of the private investing world, how I was able to connect the dots and be in a unique position to start Tribevest. Let me give you a little overview. So why Tribevest? We all yearn for human connections and financial freedom. Tribevest exists to empower those set on providing more opportunities for themselves, their families, and their next generation. So human connection, tribe, and financial freedom, Vest. And by Tribevesting, whether you do it on our platform or not, but just by the virtue of Tribevesting, And pooling capital, you get access to private deals, more deals, better terms. By Tribevesting, you can spread your risk, get into different deals, and together collectively leverage your team and do collective due diligence. And then when you Tribevest, you act together, you take action, you experience together, expand your networks and expand your horizons. This is why we're so passionate about the work we're doing and the platform we're building at Tribevest. Why now? Why all of a sudden is Tribevesting or group investing accessible? Well, I like to look at what I think of as our kind of big brother or big sisters in the out in the startup tech space. And if you kind of can go back and remember the first time you heard of Uber, and I just remember thinking it was the silliest idea I'd ever heard of. And now enter Uber. Of course, now I have the app on my phone. I summon strangers to my house. I jump in the back seat of their car without saying a word, and they drive off. And I'm still here to talk about it. And then, of course, what'd you think about this idea of having strangers into your house or going into strangers' houses and, Airbnb? And what happened? Well, technology, neutral third party made it safe and convenient and efficient to transact with strangers, to the point of people are building big businesses through these applications. And similar to Uber and Airbnb, less with the strangers, but more with the old adage of don't do business with friends and family. Of course, if you ask the wealthy and the most successful, they'll tell you to do business with people like and trust. But similarly, it's through technology, transparent technology, that now has made it possible and commonplace to do business with your friends and family. I've got to go back to the origins, Rachel, because it's just so much of who we are and like our values. This was my brothers and I on a fishing trip that we couldn't afford. And it's important to kind of understand what happened just months before this picture. The original tribe, the OG tribe, was my dad and his four sisters bought this little cottage in Cape Cod. And it was just genius. Our aunts and uncles would fly in from all over the country every summer, and all the cousins would be there. This is where cousins became brothers and sisters, and it was just a magical place. And just months before this photo, they were in a position that they had to sell it. And I said, listen, it must be time for our generation to step up. And this was a real, wake up call for us, because here we were. We thought we were kind of doing it. We went to school, we got good grades, we got, we're working with great employers, had our big income, and we were contributing to our 401ks. And here we were, and we couldn't hold on to such an important asset in our family. And we realized that we weren't doing it. We weren't anywhere close to financially free. And that's when we said never again, right? We said never again. So we came up with a plan to overcome a few things. I mean, we kind of started to realize, why getting into private investing in real estate was hard. Well, we weren't educated in it. We lacked the confidence. We didn't have a network. We didn't have access to deals, and most obvious was we didn't have capital. We didn't have capital. Another way to say it is we didn't have communities like Good. So we had to turn to each other and kind of figure this out on our own. And the plan was to go out and form an LLC, open up a business bank account, pull capital, and do a deal. And that's what we did. We did our first deal, real estate syndication, We pulled our capital together. Believe it or not, we just pulled $500 a month for about 20 months, or I'm sorry, about 12 months, pardon me. And then we were in a position to participate in our first real estate syndication. One deal led to another, and then throughout the experience, we even invested in a racehorse, which is not much of an investment at all. But, this idea that we can, do things that you could never do on your own. Certainly none of us would have ever done this on our own, but it was part of our mission to be together and learn and grow. And we did it, and we caught lightning in a bottle. And Smabberless was a top earning racehorse in 2017. It was such an incredible ride. But our most prized possession is our cottage in Cape Cod, where now the next generation and all the cousins come together. And I'm going there in just a few weeks, and I can't wait. But so group investing, Tribevesting changed our lives. It unlocked a future none of us could have ever achieved on our own. So why don't more people do it? Well, the truth is it's hard. You think about it, you need an initiator. You need to find out, who your members are, coordinating with them. Do you need an operating agreement? Do you need an attorney? What type of attorney? How do you open up a business bank account? Do all the members need to be there in person to sign to open up the business bank account? What about pulling capital? Can you automate that? Can you do it on a regular basis? And then filing an LLC. And then how do we stay, keep record of everything? How do we stay in communication? All this really adds up to a lot, and it really becomes a non-starter. So enter Tribevest. We built the banking and collaborative infrastructure for the private investing world, a platform to streamline group investing from beginning to end. So everything from organizing your group, setting up the structure and governance through an operating agreement, opening up a business bank account, pulling that capital, giving you the tools to operate compliantly, document management, record management, transaction management. We'll help you with your K1s. We'll even help you do quarterly distributions all the way till a successful exit and dissolution. What the Tribevest platform looks like is, well, you come on and you agree on a plan, you build a plan and agree on the plan and the operating agreement. We'll file your LLC, open up a business bank account for you, and then you're pulling your capital and transacting together. The technology can do this in hours. When you bring in the filing of the filing of the LLC with the Secretary of State, you're probably talking 2 days to 3 days. And you do need to have your tribe ready to rally too. But the technology took what used to be, something that took 4 to 6 weeks down to less than 4 days to be able to form a tribe and start transacting together. And that's just the beginning, really. Now you're all on a transparent dashboard, and we've done all the non-sexy stuff, all the heavy lifting, the back end stuff. We take care of so that you can focus on the fun, finding the deals and participating in those deals. Another way to kind of look at how this looks is from a high 5,000 foot view. Here you have all your members. You come to Tribevest. Tribevest helps you build that multi-membered LLC, a multi-owner vehicle. It's a partnership. And then each of the partners put in their capital contribution. And then as an entity, a single entity, now you can invest in whatever you want. We're really focused on real estate syndications right now. We'll talk more about that because it's such a proven, simple way to break into the private markets in real estate. But this is what it looks like from a high level. A little bit of the magic, Rachel, is we're just very disciplined, purposeful, very intentional about how we're building this. And if you're going to, solve the big problem of helping groups come together and be efficient and successful and safe, it all starts with a neutral third party. And that's what we are. We're a neutral third party. We don't recommend deals or sponsors. We don't get paid for anything. They're not how much you pull onto into your bank account we're not getting paid on those things, because we're just getting paid for a software as a service. And we have one entity to serve, and that's the group, and making sure it's easy and safe for you. So that neutral third party is super important. We're building it. We're integrated, meaning we've integrated with the 50 Secretary of States out there to file your LLC. We've integrated an FDIC insured business bank account. And then on the tribe side, we've also integrated with your favorite tools like QuickBooks or Xero or Wave or whatever it might be. And then we're building this for scale. So not to scare anybody, but we're still early, but we're building $1 billion business. We're here to change the world. So everything we do has to be about scale. And it's not just about scaling our company, it's about our customers too. This is so you can't just participate in one deal. We want you to participate in a dozen deals, not just participating in one tribe, but dozens of tribes. So scalability is really important. We've built out this across every industry out there. So there's nothing we haven't seen, and our platform is very feature rich and very flexible. If it started with a neutral third party, it ends with or is wrapped in transparency. That's the key to our magic. I just want to talk about how we work with communities like Good. First of all, congratulations for being part of this community. It's the key. That's talking about the magic of the wealthy. The wealthy come together and talk about ideas, share their experiences, and pull their capital and get into deals together. And Good is just an awesome voice out there and helping bring people together, right? And so I want to talk about the power of the community. By being part of Good, you're getting education, you're building confidence with those around you, you're expanding your network, and you're getting access. You're getting access through your network to different deals that you normally wouldn't get. And what Tribevest does is it gives a tool for the community to come together and take action. So with your tribe, you can actually take those learnings, capitalize on that access, harness your network, and go out there and really take action together. There's all sorts of use cases for our tribes. There's the joint venture, the mastermind, the training tribe. Yep, can you hear me? You can, okay. And leverage the expert, experimental tribe, institutional tribe, like getting into bigger deals for better terms. There's just all these different use cases for forming tribes. One way to look at this is, probably 10 or 20% of your capital should be with your tribe because of what it represents. Meaning, if you're investing with your tribe, you're probably getting into new things. You're probably getting into things you wouldn't or couldn't on your own. So allocate a certain amount of capital to be with your tribe. All these strategies have in common is being able to pull capital, experiential learning. We know that's where it happens. Provides discipline, spreads the risk around so you can get into more deals accountability, holds you guys accountable, accelerates your timelines, helps you scale your investing business and leverage your network. And at the end of the day, do deals. Like, do it. Go. Like, let's go. No more excuses. Take action together. So when we talk about this, we're talking about a community, and this represents Tribevest, the formal tribe. Great. But that doesn't mean you can't Tribevest without doing Tribevest. You just need to come together and hold yourselves accountable and take action together, whether it's a formal LLC through Tribevest or just supporting one another and saying, let's do this. And you achieve the things that are on your mind. All right. So I mentioned we offer the infrastructure across all private equity, banking infrastructure, collaborative infrastructure for anybody investing in the private markets. And that covers a lot. That's people doing real estate and rentals, short-term rentals, vacation homes, investing in passive investing into real estate syndication, lending, private equity, franchises, collectibles like art and cars. I mean, everything, right? But what we found was we wanted to go really deep and really focused with passive investing into real estate, because we think right now it's the most accessible and proven way for those of us that are trying to break into real estate. And so we made a couple of products leveraging our platform. Number one is called our Open Tribes, and this is for communities. Rachel, I'd love for you guys to think about using an open tribe and what that would look like. It would mean kind of looking at a deal, and then let's say it had a $100,000 threshold to get in on it. And when you open up an open tribe, you could have people invest for 20K, right? Or 10K. And then they get to that minimum, and then you have, a number of you in on a deal that you probably wouldn't have got in on if you had to write 100K yourself. So open tribes are for limited partners and for communities. And then
I'll just jump in really quickly
yeah.
just to clarify that a limited partner is what we also consider a passive investor. So in the real estate syndication world, we'll say LP for passive investors, and then GP for the active side of the syndication, or the general partners that are putting the deal together. And yeah, just to reiterate what Travis is saying, this is exactly why we love Tribevest, is for this open tribe element, because the barrier to entry for a lot of people, and Andrea and my whole goal is to break down barriers in real estate syndication. It's not for the uber wealthy. It's not for the people that are, trust fund babies and dynasties and all this. It's for anyone and everyone. But the biggest hurdle has still been the minimums. They're high. And a lot of times Andrea and I don't get to set them. A lot of times it's a collaborative decision from other GPs on the deal or the lead sponsors. So $50,000, $100,000 minimum is a barrier of entry for, I would say, a lot of people that I know. And so Tribevest is great because it makes it accessible to literally anyone. Like Travis said, you could come in for 10 grand, 20 grand, make a tribe to get to that 50 or 100K. I mean, it's just absolutely game changing.
That's awesome. That's exactly right. You can invest in these deals at the amount that's right for you. And there's all sorts of reasons for that. I mean, we do have not like people that invest in deals all the time. They're even using it because they just like the idea of like not passing up on good deals. They can't do them all, but they like this idea of, being able to come at those smaller amounts.
And even if you have 100,000 to throw at a deal, you might want to mitigate risk by spreading it across multiple deals. And I think Tribevest is also a great option to mitigate risk in that way.
100%, 100%. Yeah. So, that's a great application. And then Tribevest Pro is very similar, but is usually around not necessarily writing a smaller check, but a same size check as the normal minimums, but coming together with your crew to become a super limited partner. So what do I mean by that? Well, to give you an idea, general partners, they're taking on a lot of risk. So they're taking on the downside risk. They're also taking on the upside opportunity. So there's this gap between, limited partners are making they're really good deals, but there's this opportunity to even make a better deal. And a lot of these sponsors offer preferred terms. If you come in at $500,000, if you come in at $1 million, you can go from a 7% pref to an 8%. And that can be a really big deal. So what Tribevest Pro does is makes it really easy for a champion, someone that kind of has figured this out, to come together and bring their family with them, their community with them, and help them all get to this higher preferential terms by forming a tribe and sending one check to that sponsor to get that preferential term. So yeah, these are really exciting things. And again, I think I'm going to probably just pause here and take some questions and see where that takes us. But I hope that was helpful overview. And
well, I know for sure a question on everyone's mind. What's the cost? What does it cost to do Tribevest? Is it gonna totally eat our profits?
Yeah, great question. So no, we like, for us to achieve our goal, we've got to keep the price at a no-brainer. And again, you heard me talk about being a neutral third party. We're not taking a percent of anything. We really are offering a service in our platform. And I'll share with you kind of starting a tribe. If you go to tribevest.com, it's $348 per year. So that's per year, $348, and that's for your whole tribe. That's for your whole tribe. And then there are other costs that come with that. So that's your dashboard. It's the bank. It's being able to do all your transactions. So it's your operating agreement. It's all those things. It's your document management. It's your dashboard. So that's really our whole software. And then if you do need to file your LLC, we can help you with that, right? So in Ohio, for example, that's $99 for your LLC. We pass that through to you. If you need a registered agent, we can be that registered agent for you. That's $150 per year too. But other than that, that's how we're making money. And so it's a very reasonable expense in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have 10 people in your tribe, what's $35 a year? I mean,
That's right.
If that cost is spread amongst the tribe, like you said, it's an absolute no-brainer. Which leads me to my next question: how many people can join a tribe?
That's a great question. So a little bit of the magic of what we're doing here and where we came from, it's all about forming this partnership business. And so you can do things you couldn't or wouldn't on your own. And it is a business. It is a business. It's, you're a member and a partner in a partnership, multi-membered LLC. And geez, I just lost my train of thought there. No, so what I was getting at, what was your question?
My question was how many people can join a tribe?
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Sorry. I'm past my bedtime, I think. It's been a long day. Yes. So a great question. I was getting around to how many people are in a tribe. My point was, you can't have too many. You can't have too many. And our average tribes are around 6 or 7, and they don't get bigger than 15. And the reason is to stay an active partnership. That's a real manageable, reasonable number. So we like to see our tribes, anywhere between 5 and 15.
Yeah, I think so. I think any bigger than that, it starts to get hard to make decisions, right? And I've told you this story, Travis, but I'll just tell everyone else listening is that, Andrea and I did a deal last year and we had investors join and they decided to pool money together to meet the minimum. And they at that point we didn't even know Tribevest was a thing and wish we had, but they decided to go at it alone. And they did the bank accounts on their own. They did the LLC filing on their own. Well, fast forward a year and they're both suing each other. And it is a hot mess because they're like, well, who's dealing with the taxes? Who's going to be the one receiving the funds? Who's going to be the one distributing the funds? Who's the one that's on the portal receiving updates from the lead sponsors? And it's just become a huge mess, so expensive for both of them. I mean, it's just been an absolute, one of them's trying to buy the other out of the deal and it's just a mess. So I cannot tell you enough, yes, if you're sold on group investing, you love it. I could not urge you enough to go with a company like Tribevest that will literally white glove it for you. Will do every aspect and above board at that, where you're not going to have to sit around and worry about the legal implications of doing this on your own.
Yeah, that's just a great point. It's the mystery. It's the mystery that comes with just kind of poor communication, a lack of communication. And, again, I wish I could take credit for some amazing whiz bang technology, but the real magic is just the transparency. Everybody's held accountable. You don't have to wonder, you just log in, everybody sees the bank account, everybody sees the cap table, all the communications coming in from the distributions coming in from the sponsor, and then distributions out to the partners, communications coming in to the tribe, and automatically distributing those out to the members of the tribe. And so yeah, it's an important service for sure.
So Kendra is asking, and we covered this a little bit, but maybe we could go into a little bit more depth. She's saying, can you list some of the bullet point ways this would be different than if investors did this without Tribevest? Just want clarification is what she says. So what are the main key points about if an investor wanted to pool money together to meet a minimum or to mitigate risk, how would it be different if they did it with Tribevest versus tried to do it on their own?
Yeah, I mean, great question. So any one thing, Kendra, on your own, not hard, right? You wanted to go file an LLC, you could go file an LLC. There's plenty of companies out there that help you do that. You want to get an operating agreement to govern your group. You could, go out and find that and maybe do it inexpensively and efficiently. You could go out and open up a business bank account. That's easier said than done, but you could go out and do this. So I guess my point is, Kendra, is you can go out and do all these things, and any one of them on their own, not overly complicated. But when you start to add them up, that's when it becomes a non-starter. And so the way we've done this is we've made it way less expensive than if you went out and did it all on your own. And then we've made it so efficient. In fact, we're kind of doing it for you. We're doing that back office stuff for you. So my answer is you certainly could, but why would you? And
yeah, and I say
that kind of jokingly. We're all for anybody that's Tribevesting, whether it's on our platform or not on our platform. But again, our goal is to build something that's just an absolute no-brainer.
And I think it's not even just the setup is where the value is. Like you said, you can go out and do those things on your own. It's the management throughout the hold period. If you're thinking about real estate syndications, they're holding between 5 and 7 years and they're paying out quarterly distributions. Do you really want every quarter to deal with trying to divvy up the distributions based on the ownership percentage of each member of your group? Do you really want to deal with K1s for 5 years? Like, and then on the sale, dealing with divvying up those funds, and then sponsor communication, having to send that out to all of your tribe. Like, someone's going to have to be the point person in that tribe. And I mean, unfortunately, if you're it, then you have a lot of responsibility that could also have legal implications. So I think what Travis said, like the setup is definitely important, but it's like the continuation as well. That's, oh, let me put her on mute.
There's
Yeah, but I think it's also like throughout the whole period that's really important.
Yeah, no, great.
And then Kendra
great call.
says, you were listing some of the benefits as I was asking. The K1 aspect and distributions are huge.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you guys nailed this. So it's so funny because we've been so focused on kind of that front end, activating the tribe. And there's a ton of work that has gone into that to make it really, really easy. But what we're finding is the most value is right there. You know, anybody that's done more than one of these knows that it just starts to compound. Like, it's not hard, but when you've got to do it every month or every quarter, and you have this many members in your group, that's a lot. So the idea of having a service that automates that for you is absolutely game changing.
And Kendra says, and the fact that all the members can see the bank account. Yes, exactly. Transparency, right? I also really want to touch again on the super LP, because I do think that's so interesting. And I actually think I know Kendra, and I really think she'd be interested in this. So the super LP is so cool because basically the idea is that if you write a larger check, a sponsor of a deal is more willing to give you better terms. So maybe all the other investors get, like you said, a 7% preferred return, which means they get paid the first 7% of profit every year before anyone else gets paid. But if you write a bigger check, like you said, 500K, a million, then you might get an 8% preferred return on top of your return. So that's really interesting too. If you have a couple of friends that all want to go in 100K, say, hey guys, let's pool our resources and let's negotiate for better terms on this deal. I think that's just absolutely genius. It's such a creative way to apply this.
Yeah, I mean, you just rolled out the use case there. That's exactly right. And I do want to just clarify on some pricing stuff. So what I had talked about earlier, that's our platform, kind of this ad hoc version that you kind of choose which services, or if you want to use our services or off our services. To do that pro tribe, that super LP tribe, we call it our Tribevest Pro, and that's $150 per member for the first year and $100 per member after that. And one of our biggest costs there is those taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, we are doing the quarterly distributions for you. We're doing your annual taxes for you. It's all included in that. And all the way through to dissolution, once that deal exits in 5 to 7 years. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a clarification there on that pro tribe. Really what we've done is, instead of making it all ad hoc, like, hey, you use our service if you want and when you want, what we've done is we said, hey, if you're doing a syndication, they're 5 years, they're 7 years. We wanted to make sure we were including everything you needed for that 7 years. So just the peace of mind to know that you don't have to do those distributions, to know that the annual taxes and K1s are going to be handled. All the communications coming from the sponsors were going to be distributed to your members. That was a important thing, and that's how that particular service is priced.
Yes, guys, keep dropping your questions in the comments. I'm loving this. Another question I have is about depreciation. So are you also able to divvy up the depreciation based on the ownership of each tribe member?
Absolutely. So you think of it, it's a pass-through entity. So that first year of a syndicate, you really can realize a lot of that depreciation, and it has its tax advantages, and there's a lot of great strategies in there. But yeah, that would all be passed on to each member depending on your ownership. So let's say you all did come in for 50K, 10 of you, right? Just for easy math, that's 500,000. You got that preferred rate as a result of hitting that $500,000 mark. And you each own 10%. So we get that K1, our services cut up that K1, and everybody gets the appropriate depreciation. That's passed through to each member.
That is so cool. That's awesome. Can you join a tribe as an LLC? Like if I have my own personal LLC I use for investing, can that, or does it have to be me personally in the tribe?
Great question. You can join as an entity or as an individual.
And there can be a mix of entities and individuals in the tribe?
Yes, indeed.
That is awesome. That is so cool. I love it. And do you have to know your tribe members, or could you perhaps join a tribe on the platform that is accepting new members?
So great question. Usually there's some association, right? Meaning, for example, good might kind of get behind a tribe, or a group might get behind the tribe. And there's a good chance that some people don't know each other. So in that case, that's where we're seeing people that don't know each other coming together to get deals done. But they all know good. There's always that kind of association attached to it.
Cool.
In the future, things will be different, but right now, that's anybody that you're going into a tribe with, there's usually that just a degree or two removed of association there. Good question.
So Kendra asks, any setup fee other than the $150 per LLC member for the first year? Now that's for the super LLC, the pro platform. Right. So you want to address maybe just again briefly the fees for the pro versus the open tribe?
Yeah, Kendra, great question. So the reason why the first year is 150 is because of all those setup costs. And then the second year, it's $100 per member. So to answer your question, included in that $150 per member for the first year is the LLC, is the registered agent services, is the annual report filing with the state, is the tax services. But again, it's a $50 more because there is that setup cost that comes with it. Good question.
Yeah, it is super reasonable, and that's just for the pro. And if you were just wanting to do open tribe, you weren't wanting to become a super LP, you just want to pool money together to reach a minimum. That's $348, right, Travis, per year per tribe. So that can be split up. If you have 15 people, it could be as low as like $28 a year per member. And then a few services.
Right. And then, exactly. And that's the service. And then again, if you start to add it up, right, you get your LLC, maybe you don't need a registered agent, or maybe you do, all those things. But again, I think if you kind of do a side by side of, what this would cost if you went out and did it all on your own, you would find incredible value on the Tribevest platform.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's priceless. So I think that's just super reasonable. Guys, are there any more questions for Travis here before we wrap up? Last call. So what if, people listening like, I'm sold, I want to do it. What are their next steps?
Great. So if you want to, start your tribe, you can go to tribevest.com and click start your tribe. If you're interested in that pro tribe, the super LP tribe, you can email me, and I'll put that in the chat, and you can share this with your community, Rachel.
Yes. Yeah. If you're watching the recording of this, it'll be in his contact info will be in the description if you're watching the recording. If you're live, it'll be in the chat box.
And make sure, just make sure you remind me that this is where you heard me. And then we'll give you more information on what it looks like to start your Super LP Pro Tribe.
Yeah, definitely. And Andrea and I are going to be integrating these into all of our future deals. We're encouraging all of our community members to join a tribe, to invest, make their money go further, faster. That's what this is literally all about. And yeah, Travis Smith just gave you his email. He's going to be Elon Musk in like 5 years, guys. So save that email. For sure, because Tribevest is just going to the stratosphere. I love it. Well, Travis, thank you again for giving us of your time. I know it's late for you, so please go and rest. And thank you to everyone who joined us live and are watching back. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us at goodgoodinvesting@gmail.com if you want to get onto our deal flow. If you don't know if you are on our deal flow, it means that you're not, because you would know. We would have a conversation with you. So if you're not on our deal flow, please reach out, goodgoodinvesting@gmail.com, and we'll make sure that you get all of our future deals, and then you can partner with Tribevest to get invested. Well, thank you guys so much. Travis, thank you again. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, Rachel. Bye, everyone.